Hello, hello. This is Marsha LaFroth. Let me see if I can get my camera to just frame it exactly how I would like it to look. Let's see. If you're finding me, come say hello. I am trying to find myself on the computer in front of me so that I can respond to comments and stuff. Okay, I found it. Let's see. Today we're going to use some products that are retiring soon, and also I'm going to admit right now I'm using a lot of retired stuff on the inside. The front of the card is all current right now. Many of the things are retiring at the end of April. And I'll probably say that again when more people find us. Hey Sandy, welcome. How are you? Oh, now that I have my screen in front of me, I can tell this is still a little bit crooked, but I might have to just live with it. It's always my challenge when I put it on my phone. The new way you have to do it, you can't quite see how it's lining up. So anyway, now that it's in front of me, I see it. I might have just made it worse. Okay, that's all right. So today I'm going to show you how to make these cards. It's called Pop and Twist because when you open it, like there's a little twisty action and it opens to give you a fun little surprise. Now these ones are just freshly made, and as you can see, they are wanting to pop open. So once you make them, you want to stick them in like a clear envelope that's going to hold them closed. And then this is one I made. Excuse me, my voice has a frog. Try to get that out. Oh, good, Sandy. It is a rainy day. Great day for being inside stamping, right? This is one I made many, many years ago and luckily still had, because what initiated me making these cards is a friend of mine had her 50th birthday and I got lots of notice, invited to her party, and so I was like, I need to make a special card. This is not, I usually make fast cards or often make fast cards. This is not a fast card, but I wanted to make her something special. So I remembered years ago making this one, and I still had it. And you can see even when I untie it, because it's been in a box for a long time, like with other cards, it lays nice and flat, unlike these that are just anxious to pop. But this one, when you open it, it still has that little pop and twist mechanism. And again, this has been in my box for I don't know how long. I was waiting for someone really special to get married to give it to, and often now I just get an invite with like a Venmo code and send Venmo and don't even do a card. But maybe I'll save that for when my daughter gets married. She's not engaged or anything, but you know, why not wait another many years? Okay, so I'm going to just show you how to make this inside piece first, because I assume that's the thing, if you want to return to this, you'll need to see the most. And then I'll show how I did the front, which the front of this card, I saw a card by Stampin Gala. I'm trying to think of her actual name. Her website is Stampin Gala. That's how it's spelled. And that's where I kind of saw this layout. And then I just made a pink one. And then I made a blue because my husband is also turning 50 next month. So then I could have one for him as well once I figured it out. Okay, so let's dive into how we're going to make this little inside piece that gives you the pop and twist. Okay, let me pull this sheet out. I'll hold it there for a second in case you're watching the replay on your phone and you want to screenshot these measurements. So the mechanism, that's the thing we're going to make first. Let me get my sample one. we're gonna make this thing. It's actually gonna look like this, and then when we fold it, I have written where to put tape and stuff. But this is the thing we're gonna make first. This is what does all the work. Well, kind of. Okay, so you're gonna take a piece 7.5 by 2 1/4. And you want that piece to match the outside color of your card. Hello, Jean, welcome, welcome. So I'm doing 2 1/4. And while I have this here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut for my panel that's gonna go across there. So that would be 2 3/4. So I'm just, neither of these are the right length yet, but while this is in here, I'm just cutting both sections. So here we go with 2 3/4. Okay, then I'll get them the right width. So the mechanism piece, wow, this is stuck, is 7.5 by 2 1/4. So that's the thing we're gonna make look like this little fold out thing. And then this is the piece that's gonna be the pictures. And it is 8 inches by 2 3/4, right? Yes. Okay. Now I will tell you, so if you search Pop and Twist on YouTube or the internet, hello Laurie, welcome, join us. You're going to see different kinds. And when I made this one years ago, I was specifically looking for a kind that would fit in this, a card opening this direction. So it's a little bit smaller than some out there. And when I went to make my new ones, even though it was the long direction, I just dug out my old notes to make this piece for the inside. So it's smaller. I did find a video by D Slater at createwithdee.com that she makes a bigger piece for the inside mechanism and also a bigger piece for the panels. So if you want to put bigger things on this, you could look at her video to get that. So just throwing that out there. Mine, I believe I watched a video that had centimeters and changed it to that. I don't know who I first got it from. Like I said, many, many years ago I made that. Okay, back to this. 2 1/4 by 7.5. Okay, with the 2 1/4 side at the top, that's how I like to say it. People say it different. You're gonna score it 1 1/8. So that's right down the center. You're scoring. My scoring blade is not in here properly. Okay, so I'm making this line. Then you're gonna turn and score at 3 3/4. Hello, Sue, welcome. I gotta make sure I don't do the cutting blade. One of these, I did all the pieces except the very last one, and then I accidentally did my cutting blade, and it was awful. It wasn't awful, but I'm like, I gotta do it again. Okay, so right now, we just have these folds. Let me grab my bone folder, because I'm going to want that. Okay, well, I don't need to do it just yet, because we want to make this little triangle piece, okay? And how I do that, is this going to show in? I just use my grid paper. Too many things at a different table and not on the table I'm at. Looking for a pencil. Okay. I take my grid paper, you could do it up there, but my measurements are down here. And I go over 1 inch and 1/8 inch. So, and I mark it, and then I do it on this side, 1 1/8, and then I do it at the top. I'm just going over from the center. So obviously I could do that the front, but I'm going over 1 inch and 1/8 inch and putting little marks. Well, I didn't quite get, I marked it on there. Whoops, that didn't do me any good. Instead of my piece. Okay, now at this point I could draw an X with a ruler and then score over the top of that, which might make this easier, but I just do it this way. I just line it up in my trimmer with that mark hitting the opening where the blade's gonna come through, and this mark hitting there, and I score, and then I do the same. And you can erase those marks, but they're really not going to be seen because this whole thing will be hidden. But, you know, if it bothers you, then you can go erase those marks. But again, they won't be seen. Okay, now, next I would just go ahead and kind of fold and burnish all those different pieces. Maybe both ways, I can't remember. Okay, the trickiest part of this is just figuring out how to fold it. You want to kind of get your mountains on the side coming up, but don't have this part coming up. So it's going to stay back. You're going to fold these and bring them together so that you kind of get this little hat triangle piece at the top. And that's when you're really going to want to try to help this stay in that situation, because that's how it's going to sit in your card. Okay, so that's that piece. Then our panel. So again, we have 2 3/4 by 8. That's the size I use. You can find bigger measurements out there. And I'm going to score every 2 inches. So 2, 4, 6, and we're good. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Anyone else ever say that? Okay. Now, the way this is going to fold is, I mean, it doesn't matter because you can change it. I would just fold on your lines and then we'll make it go the way we want it to go. But you have, these two are going to be out and then this is going to pop up in the middle. Okay. So that's that. Now, with my cards, I made the front and then I decorated all these little panels and then I put it together. But just again, for those who just want to know how to do this mechanism, I'm going to put it in my card before decorating. Then we'll come back and decorate. So one important thing I learned the hard way is before you stick this bulky thing into your card, if you want to stamp on the back, do that first, because the card I already gave away, I didn't do that first. So, because once this is in there, it's bulky. Okay, I'm not going to stamp this card because it's my giveaway today, the card I'm making. And so I won't stamp the back, so you can give it away. Okay, I forgot to say your card base, well, I some got to that part. We are opening it this way, so if you're new to how to cut that, it's 4 1/4 by 11, so you'll take it on the long side. I'm just seeing which looks like more like the front. It doesn't really matter, but sometimes the way they come from the factory, there's just a certain look about it. Okay, so we're going to cut it 4 1/4. It's already 11 inches long, and then we're going to score at 5 1/2. Okay, so that gives us our piece. Now, again, I would normally recommend that you decorate the front before you put in the mechanism, but I'm not going to do that today. All right, now some of these, like this and some others I've made, I didn't put a white panel in. I just decorated the bottom of the inside, and there's like a little room to write something, right? But this one, I wanted the white panel. So you want to put that down first if you're doing it. I'm realizing some of my little confettis are going off the edge. Oh well, too late. I already stuck tape on it. So I would definitely stamp those before you put them in the card, generally speaking. Okay, so we're going to put that in. Now we're going to put this little thing together. Okay, so you want to put some tape up here on your top right. You want it to be strong, like the tear tape. I would say 2 strips is enough. And then we're going to put some on the bottom left. Top right, bottom left. Up to the middle score line. Okay. Now again, there's other videos out there that might show this different. This is how I do it. This is what my notes said to do. Let's see. I wrote something. Hold on. Okay. So sorry about this frog in my throat. Okay, so the way my notes said to do it was to line up these middle score lines and kind of have it close to the top. Okay, I'm going to try to go slow here. So we're going to fold that over on that score line and then take off our tape. Okay. So I'm not going quite to the top just in case. I don't know. I just am not. Oh, look at that. I did it crooked as it was. Shoot. Good thing I used extra strong tape there. Let's try that again. I'm going to put a little glue for reinforcement since I already ripped that up once. Okay. So I'm going to try this a different way. Fold it there and then just close this over so that it's going to be below. Okay, so it's going to stick there. All right, now I want to fold that the way it's going to go. Make sure this is folded the way it's going to go. Okay, do you see how this part is going to go on the, why is it crooked? I don't know. This part's going to go, that's attached to the back panel of that piece, and this is going to attach to the front. Okay, so now I've already got my adhesive there. I'm just peeling it off and then attaching it. And really just getting this attached right is kind of the most, it's like the most important part of this card and the trickiest. And that's why I was really glad I kept one of these from years ago that I could study how to close it. Okay, again, so you want to make sure this is folded the way it's going to go into your card. And then you close it like that, okay? Then see, it's going to want to pop and twist. It just wants to do that. And then we have to glue it down in the card the right way to get it to open the right way, okay? So now when you go to put it in, if you shove it all the way to the top, it's not going to quite operate nicely. You just want to make sure you can close it. So here's how I do it. Okay, you can put that strong tear tape there again. I'm using Seal Plus for the sake of time to make this go faster. I'm going to do like a combination of Seal Plus and my glue. The glue, I've said this a million times, but the glue really will hold it long over time, but it doesn't grab it right away, so I like to sometimes mix them. Okay, so you want to try to have this be as even as can be, and then we're just going to, close it as we go down and press, okay? So that's going to open one part of it, but you see it's still not working right because we have to attach the back, okay? So then we're going to turn it over. Now, the way it is right now is not where you want to glue. You want to make sure you see that like triangle hat thing before you glue, or if it's like that, it's not going to work right. So make sure this is opened before you do your stuff. Now, if you're using like the old Snell adhesive, that is probably not going to be strong enough. This is going to have a lot of pull on it. So you want strong tape. And I will say it again, normally I would have put all my panels, my white panels on here first before building this, but I know when I go watch videos, I'm like, get to the point at the beginning sometimes. And so I'm trying to get to the point, but then we'll build the card. All right. Okay. So now I'm being careful because this glue is still drying, and I don't want to put a massive pull on it and pull it apart. So before you like open and close it 500 times when you've just first made it, I would, you know, stick something heavy on it for a while. Becky, this makes the quilt card look easy. I know, I've done two kind of more complicated cards in a row, which is really not my jam. My jam is like super simple DSP cards, as I have right here. So I'll definitely try to do that soon, but I've just been making hard cards lately. I don't know why. Okay, so anyway, once you get that, and I don't know why mine keeps going a little crooked, like when I open it. I guess it's just the way it's unfolding. So then we would build, now that, you know, that's the basic. Now we'll decorate the front. So that just shows you how to do pop and twist. You could take any card you want. So I could take, let's see, well, not any card. Like if I have a card, well, I mean like this one, I could stick that little mechanism inside and have it be pop and twist. If it opens this way and you want it right side up, that's not quite going to work the same. But any top, bottom, open, you could turn into that. So you could take card you already have and turn it into a pop and twist. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you your little white layers, which I already cut. I cut some stuff just to try to make this faster. Those layers are 1 3/4 by 2 1/2, and you need 4 of those. So that's what we're going to attach here. And like I said, ideally you would attach those when it's flat and not already put together. But I was trying to make this go a little faster. So I'm going to, let's see, I think I'll decorate the front. And then I'll tell you what I did on the inside. Some of the stuff is retired. That's kind of a tricky part with this, is you've got to come up with something for every panel. One of the cards I saw online just like repeated. They did those two and repeated them, but I wanted every single one to be different. So the front of the card, let's work on that. And by the way, at the end, I recently did a shoebox swap with my team. I'll show you the cards we made, so if you want to stay tuned for that. Okay, so the front of the card, your card base layer, 4 1/4 by 11. We already did that. Then you have a white layer that's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. The matte is 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. And so both these cards are the same. It's just the colors are different. So on this card, I'm using Bubble Bath for the base, white, of course, basic white, and then Berry Burst for my pink, my darker pink. This is Azure Afternoon with white and Granny Apple Green. And I used Granny Apple Green on both. Now the key is, you can see this card has some texture to it, but you want to stamp before you run it through your embossing machine, or it's not going to stamp nicely for you. So stamp first. So I'm using, for the front of this card, 2 sets that will be retiring in April, and neither of them are going to be marked down. Like April 9th, the markdown start. Neither of these are discounted, so there's no reason to wait if you decide you love these and don't have them and want them. One is Beautiful Balloons, and that is a bundle, so I'm going to be using the dies as well. There's Beautiful Balloons and Biggest Wish, so they're still available for right now. I did check this morning to make sure they were. Okay, so let's do this very quickly if possible. I'm going to do my birthday first so I can kind of space things around that. And I probably need to refill my berry burst. I noticed that, but I didn't have time. Okay, there's birthday. Oh, it's actually okay. And then the happy. So this set has most of the words in 2 different fonts, so you can mix and match for a fun thing I'm looking for. So when I have a bold set, like a bold image like these balloons, or this happy's more bold than that, that's when I like to put the piercing mat underneath it to get a better image. Okay, so then we'll do my happy there. I obviously spaced that differently on the cards. That's how it goes. Things aren't perfect. All right, and then the other things I need to do before I run it through are my little balloon streams and my tiny balloons in the background. So, oh, I forgot. I used bubble bath also. Let me grab that. This one I just did a few little balloons in the background. This one I ran them all up and down. So obviously do whatever suits you. This bubble bath is very pale. These are just some floating balloons in the background. Okay, and then to stamp the little stem piece, I kind of have to figure out where I'm going to put these balloons so that I can stamp my little, I don't know, what's the word for this? My string, my balloon string? No, it's not a stem. That would be a flower. I'm making sure this is clean. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it out of the way because I'm gonna pop those up after. Oh, did I bring something to clean with? I'm gonna pop those up after I emboss this. And yes, guys, this card, I'm using a lot of different sets, especially on the inside. And so this is when you just really want to make something special, like the quilt cards. And again, a lot of the times I don't do this, but this particular friend gave me, an invitation to her party far in advance. I had a lot of time to plan to do this. Okay. All these cards will look slightly different. Okay. So all my stamping is done on this card now. Now I can run it through. So I'm using, this is an online exclusive, so you're not going to see it in the catalog. It's called Basics 3D Folders. You can search that in the search on the website to pull it up. And there's 3 different folders. There's polka dots, which as one of the ones I can show you from our card swap. There's the one I used on the quilt cards, and then there's this one that's really subtle and probably one of my most used cards. So I'm running this through with the 3D plate on top. I'm not going to bring my machine into the picture because then I have to move all kinds of things. This is a really tight squeeze. You can hear all the noises going on though. Okay. So now it's really stuck in there. Now I have texture. You could skip that part, obviously, but it's kind of a cool look. All right, now we're going to add this to the very small edge around it, berry burst background. And then where's the card I already made? Okay, there's the blue. Can't card I made earlier right here with you guys to stick this on the front of it. Awesome. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're going to stick this. It's going to be harder because it's already got all this bulky stuff in the middle. So again, as I said before, I would normally do this part first and then put your inside in. I'm just working backwards with you guys. So I'm having to fold this around my bulky inside. And then we'll put some dimensionals. On my balloons. And you know, I'm remembering the time I trimmed the balloons a little more, some of the white off. And I didn't do that this time, just to make it look like it connected to the string better. I put that dimensional not in a good place for where I want this to go, because it's going to overlap there. Hopefully it'll be okay with that. Okay, so our final little part to the front. So these are the in color tiny ribbon. I don't know what they're called. Metallic woven ribbon, and you can see I'm almost out. But I didn't put ribbon on this one, but I could use the blue and green. But since it's for my husband, I mean, not that he would care either way, but I just decided to leave the bows off. So I'm just cutting a couple very tiny bows here. I'll just attach one for now. And it's a small surface, so I take a glue dot and, oops, I didn't get it. Roll it up with my fingers. And again, you can do the pop and twist with any card you might already have in your stash. And then I just stick it to that glue dot. Okay, so that's how I would attach the bows. I'll do the green one later. And then the sequins I used the same pack on all the cards, is the iridescent sequins. Iridescent adhesive back sequins, and they came out in the holiday catalog and went with the Merry and Bright suite, but they carried over, so they're an online exclusive, and they're still available. I just checked this morning. I wasn't sure if they were going to be. They are. Again, I initially was just making this for a friend, so I didn't worry about what was retired or not. And then I thought, let me show how to make this for those ambitious people out there. If you make one, you've got to, that's not going to show up on that bubble bath card. I'll stick it this way, the bubble bath. The white ones you don't see quite as well, but it's fine. Okay. So the front of the card is more or less done, and don't worry if you're getting tired. I am not going to do every single piece on the inside. I'm going to tell you what I did and show you one other trick you can do that is a lot of work also, to be honest. But I'm going to tell you about the different sets I use that are retired. So first of all, the balloons and the little confetti, they all come from the set I already showed you. So I stamped those same little balloons from the front around, and then the little confetti piece I did the same here in Granny Apple Green that I did around there, okay? The Yay You is also from Beautiful Balloons. And that's kind of the end of Beautiful Balloons. And these little balloons here. And I cut the little balloons and the 50. There is a pack of shimmer paper. This is the one I forgot to see if it was still in stock. But it comes with Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, and it did come with pink, but this is literally all I have left, and I couldn't find that piece when I made this one. I did for my friend. And then it comes with navy, which on this card I use Starry Sky instead of navy, but I still used the navy shimmer paper for the 50 on the inside. Okay, those two sets retired. I actually had to go down in my basement and dig out this retired Picture Perfect birthday. It was in my box of stuff I tried to sell at my online sale last year, and it didn't go, and I was like, well, good, because I can use it to make my husband's card. Okay, so that's that one. That one's really old, but these ones I used for a special person on a special day. And again, I apologize I used so many. You can, of course, you'll just find your own way to decorate them. But in case you have these and you want to know, special person on a special day came from Framed Florets. And I really do hate using 10 different sets. I like to do them all in one, but you know, I was just trying to find stuff to make this card. I used from Inspired Thoughts, It's Your Time to Be Remembered, to feel appreciated, to know you're celebrated. So that came from that one. The Alphabet a la Mode dies are still in stock if you want them, and that's where I got the little 50. And by the way, so the question for today is, if you win this card, what number would you want to go there? Because I'm going to cut those specifically for you. Or you can say no numbers, and I'll just come up with something else. Like if you didn't want a certain number. But if you know a friend's birthday's coming up and you want a certain number, and when you answer that question, I put your name in a drawing, and whoever wins will get this card. If you're watching the replay later, I'm going to do the drawing. What's today? I like to leave it open for a week. Today's March 27th. So I'll do the drawing on April 3rd. So if you're watching this after either the replay or on YouTube, you don't need to tell me what numbers, because the drawing will already have happened. Okay. So anyway, tell me if you want, 50, 40, 10, whatever it is you want, or just say no numbers, and that's what you'll get. Okay. The last one I didn't tell you, this Hooray was from a paper pumpkin kit. Like, I was pulling from everywhere. And the tricky one was this Years. And I'm only showing you this because it's like a technique that if you ever want to do, you can try. So I already stamped the Hooray on there. And this Years, I did not have a stamp set that just said Years. I mean, I might, but searching through all my sets, I couldn't find one that just said Years. But this set, also really old, had the number of years in there. So I'm like, I just want that one little word out of there. So you may have seen this before, but if not, I'm going to just show you how to get just that one little word. I'm looking for my Post-it notes that I made sure I had before I started. And now they have been buried somewhere. Oh, there they are. Okay. I'm going to use washi tape and Post-it notes. You could do the whole thing with washi tape, but Post-it notes are my preferred method. But for this specific shape, I had to use both, okay? I know this is over the top, but you know what? I really wanted that Years on there when I was making this card for my friend. So I basically came in with my Post-it notes. Okay, let's see if I can get this. And was able to cover it up till there. But I couldn't get that little tail of the Y with my Post-it notes just right. So then I had to combine them with some washi tape. Okay, and now only you see the years peeking through again. But the good news is, when I made these cards, not the first time. When I made it for my friend, I just made one. But when I was making it for these samples, I was able to peel. You want to make sure that nothing beyond the Post-it notes is getting ink on it. So you're not going to stamp it like this, because then you're going to get it there. But I was able to peel this off of this one and go stick it right on my other one to do the blue. So I could do 2 cards at once. I didn't have to remake it. And then you can just stick that one little word where you want it. And that's how you can segregate a word from a whole bunch of words. And I bet it's been years since I've done that. I tend to not do that. But everything about this card was going over the top. So why not do that too? Okay, so let's see. I've seen some people want 27, 70. Okay, great. Well, if you girls are the only ones who tell me, you have a good chance of winning this card, right? Okay, so that's the inside, and I did add more sequins on this one, but on the guy card, I did not. I just was like, let me keep it a little bit less crazy. So that concludes our pop and twist cards. And again, the measurements I've given you work for both tall cards or a short wide card. And you can also go on YouTube and find other versions of this with different mechanisms if you want like bigger inside. Okay, so that's that. But I do have more to show you if you want to stick around. First, I have to give my little commercial for the crafting cruise I'm hosting with my friend Cindy. I don't expect you to read all this through my screen here. It's just something for me to stick here. We're hosting a cruise October 19th through 25th at the Eastern Caribbean. We are going from Port Canaveral. The closest airport is Orlando. And we'd love for you to join us. We still have room. And it's, what did I say? You're going with Royal Caribbean. The crafting part is $200, and you're going to make 24 projects, and we'll have everything for you except like your adhesive and scissors. We may even have that for you. We're going to see. It depends on how many people sign up. You'll have a half a table to yourself the whole week of the cruise. We are only committing to be in there on the sea days. That's when we'll have the projects. But what was I going to say? I got distracted reading someone's comment. That's when we'll have the projects, but you can go in there and work on your own projects anytime, night or day. So, and then of course, visit the ports and enjoy the cruise. So you can read all about it on my website, stampwithmarsha.blogspot.com. There's a tab that says Cruise 2024. Or you can go to cruiseandcrop.com and look for Sail Away Stampers Cruise 2024. So that's how you can find out information, or message me or email me. But the deadline where you get the group rate is June. And I think if there's still room after that, June 20th, you could sign up later. But I meant to call them this morning, confirm, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, when you register, it's a $500 deposit for the cruise and then $50 for the stamp portion. If you want to go with someone who doesn't stamp, like my husband, you only pay the cruise. You don't have to pay the crafting one. And the final payments are all due July 9th. So there you go. That's the cruise commercial. Okay. Sandy, if you want to be in the drawing, tell me, if you were to win this card, what years you would want me to put there. Or you can say, no years, just something else. Okay, that's the answer. That's what you answer to get entered in the drawing. Okay, let me share these cards that we made at a shoebox swap recently with my team, and then I will let you go, because this has been, I like to keep these short, and today was long. So, okay. This one was planned by Debbie Davidson, and I've never done one like this before, where you weave your strips. I actually had some problems, but I finally was able to do it. So thank you, Debbie, for introducing me to something new. It's very cool. This one was planned by Nina Tarner, and it's one of those bookfuls where you open part of it. And she was long distance, so she couldn't bring her stamps. Her initial one had a cute little goosey related stamp on it, but we didn't have that when we built it. This is featuring a brand new online exclusive set. This was planned by Amy O'Leary, and it was, the set's called Filled with Fun, and I have it right here. I want to make a bunch with it. I think it's so cute. So you can fill your wagon with presents or flowers or have balloons. Anyway, cute. That was done by Amy O'Leary. And then this was made by a guest. She's not actually on my team, but she's a friend who came. You're in my thoughts today. It's like a book fold, fun fold. It's like a new fold. I hadn't done that one before either. So that's why I love these things. I get to learn from my team. This one was planned by Cindy Lake. Have a couple that use that hexagon, heartfelt hexagon, and some celebration items. This one was from Bonnie Wilson, and it uses the new zinnia paper that I think is out of stock right now, so I won't go into it too much. This one was from, Nanette Brule, and I believe it's the Stipple Rose stamp, and then that paper was the same as this, the celebration paper. Here we have the polka dots that I mentioned earlier that are part of that Basics 3D folder. So it comes, that background is the same as this. And this one was planned by Kim Witham. Cute, right? This one was done by, gosh, I can't find my own card in here. I don't know where I put it. It was an Easter card, but you can see all of these on my Happy Stampers group because I put pictures of them. Anyway, I'd like to say I don't have my Easter card because I mailed it, but I haven't mailed any Easter cards yet. And it's Wednesday and Easter Sunday, so we're going to see what happens there. This one is kind of fun because it's like peeking through. This was done by Catherine Strong. And this one was done by Jen Doolin. And I don't know, if you pull this off, there's like a secret message underneath, but I don't want to pull it off because it's going to go to whoever I send it to. But this, it's like a circle. It's with the Hooray for Surprises set. And I didn't realize when you cut them, it doesn't cut all the way. It's like perforated. So you can pull it out, or you can send it to your guests and then, or whoever you're giving it to, and they pull it out and then see a little message. So that was fun and new for me too. So that was our card shoebox swap where everyone planned a project and we all got together and made them. And I don't know what happened to mine. It was with the Easter egg set. But anyway, thank you so much for coming today. If you try a pop and twist card, please share it with me. I will be impressed. And even though, Peggy, you thought it looked scary, it's not. It's kind of fun once you get started, but it is a little time consuming. But anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.